world changes soon. Can get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me too. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past.
Welcome to the Red Pill Sports and Entertainment Show. I am your host, Albert Apache, and as usual brought to you by Open Source, Self-Defense, Fitness, and Grappling. Okay guys, so this past weekend, or I guess it was this past Friday, it was the Who's #1, Nicky Ryan versus BJ Parch. That was the event I was most interested in. Now, after watching this match, it occurred to me that we really need to start asking the question, how far, I guess, or how high separated is the Danaher Death Squad from everybody else in grappling? I think watching this match was very, very eye-opening. We were told coming into this match just how good PJ was. We were told that, he was a Division I wrestler, that, high-level 10th planet guy. This was supposed to be a real challenge for Nicky. Watching this fight, it became very apparent very quickly that PJ was not going to pass Nicky Ryan's guard, and soon it became a stalling type game, which is essentially what we've seen out of most grapplers who face the top DDS guys. We saw it, against Craig. We've seen it against Gordon. Actually, to be completely honest, Wagner and Roberto, to their credit, were much less, stalling, and were very more aggressive in trying to actually get into their game than just trying to stop Gordon from getting into his game. So to their credit, it seems like they were a little bit more aggressive than we've seen anybody be with Gordon in a very long time. Now, they didn't win, but at least they were trying to get into their game. When we look at the last couple of matches for Nicky Rod, for Nicky Ryan, Craig Jones, in all of these matches, it seems that very quickly the match digresses into the opponent stalling out. Nicky Ryan's wrestling, let me be very, very clear. His wrestling is the non-traditional type of wrestling. He wrestles up from the guard, as they like to say, essentially catching singles and doubles from being on guard, kind of sitting up into them, things of that nature, doing kind of a snap down on the head since he's already seated, taking base and posture away that way. Very similar to what Gordon does, which is not surprising. All that being said, you would think that somebody with the wrestling credentials of PJ Parch would have no problem with this and would have been able to at least control Nicky. It was super eye-opening to watch this match. The entire time, it was Nicky attacking, PJ looking to counter or to stall. And there was a couple times PJ did throw up a guillotine and try to get to a Kimura lock. But again, all of these things were not PJ doing something spectacular or doing something tricky to set up the position. It was PJ trying to capitalize on Nikki maybe getting over aggressive, stalling, trying to look for some kind of opportunity, waiting for Nikki to give an opportunity rather than being aggressive and setting up his own technique. And so the question has to be asked, how much better is the Danaher Death Squad than every other top team when it comes to no-gi grappling? Because it wasn't too long ago, I think, that we were saying that, you know, the top two no grappling teams were 10th Planet and Danaher Death Squad. At this point, you have to say that it's Danaher Death Squad by a mile, and maybe 10th Planet after that, maybe. I mean, it's almost like comparing Tom Brady to every other quarterback that's in the league right now, right? Tom Brady with his multiple rings, and then saying, well, is it Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? Well, as good as Aaron Rodgers is, he's got one ring. And it's very, very similar when it comes to 10th Planet and DDS. Is it really that much better? And is it time? Is it time for 10th Planet to maybe go back to the drawing board? Because remember that 10th Planet specialized. They came out from their inception and specialized in no-gi grappling. They had the head start in that area, if you will, in specializing in no-gi grappling. So is it maybe time for them to go back to the drawing board? Now, it wasn't too long ago, a couple of years ago, that John Danaher himself came out and kind of said that 10th Planet was simply a clone of the DDS systems. Now, does that hold true? I have no idea. Okay. But what I can say is that as time has progressed, it seems that the DDS style system has separated itself from just about every other style and every other system. Now, is that due to the athletes or is that due to the system? With the rise of Nicky Rod and of course Nicky Ryan, it tends to suggest that it's a system superiority, an instructor superiority, a philosophy superiority over an athlete superiority. So I think it's more about the system than the individuals. And you know, it's probably time for everybody else to really pay attention. I mean, this reminds me so much of, you know, when jiu-jitsu almost first burst into the scene in '93, and everybody had to play catch up. Is it going to be impossible? Absolutely not. It's not impossible. But you cannot deny there is a huge gap in grappling prowess from the DDS system and what everybody else is doing. There's a huge gap. And I think the biggest gaping hole really is the completeness of these grapplers. It seems as though they are good or dangerous everywhere. They're not just good from their guard. They're not just good in passing. They are good everywhere. They're not just good with once they have a submission, they're also good with escapes. They're absolutely the pinnacle of grappling in every single aspect of submission grappling. They wrestle well. They berimbolo well. They play open guard well. They play close guard well. They sweep well. I mean, you name it, they are extremely sound in all aspects of the game. Which, if we're going to be honest, is not really what most people are in jiu-jitsu right now. Most people have a niche. That is their go-to comfort zone. And if you can get them out of their comfort zone, you have a very, very good chance of beating them. So, anyhow, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed these matches. If you really want to check it out on Flow, go check out this match. They might stick it up on YouTube soon, but check it out. Tell me what you thought. I really felt like Nicky Ryan dominated this match. He did end up winning on decision. I feel like he dominated this match. I really feel like he established himself as the much better grappler. He pretty much essentially did what he wanted, played his guard, came up a couple of times, took PJ down a couple of times. Now, holding PJ down, that did prove to be a much more difficult task than just taking him down, but actually holding him down and getting to a, dominant position for the submission proved to be much more difficult than just holding him there. But either way, Nicky Ryan looked fantastic, and seems like if you want to be the best in the world, if you can't make it down to Puerto Rico, you better be on BJJ Fanatics and buying Danaher and Ryan and Jones tutorials and videos, because otherwise, like I said, I just think these guys are leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. All right, man, that's what I got. Thank you for listening. Remember, be practical, be purposeful, get fit with a purpose, guys.
We're all triggered and defensive, we're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just flip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird.